Bonuses suck when you use emotion instead of math.
We got into the profession because we want to help people. And so a lot of us have bleeding hearts and we just want to help our teams. And we love our teams and our teams are great. So a lot of times we can create bonus structures that are surrounded by how we feel about our teams and the people on them versus the math behind what is happening in our business. I started this bonus structure, but I can't afford it anymore. And how do I get out of it? And I was bound and determined not to do that whenever I started my bonus system. I truly believe all of it is just because it's built around feelings and emotions instead of what is actually happening in the business to be able to support that bonus system.
Welcome back to another episode of My Dental Playbook. I'm your co-host, Gary Bird. Along with my friend, Dr. Blake Hamblin, we're going to be diving deep into his office and how he's doubled his collections in just under 12 months. We're also going to be talking about his journey to a $10 million practice and what he needs to do to get there. You're going to see behind the curtain, and Dr. Blake is amazing at sharing the hard details that you need to know so you can do the same too. If you want to grow, this is the show for you. Stay tuned. All right, we are live and back by popular demand. Today, we're going to be talking about the bonus system. If you didn't watch last week's show, it was a really good one. Dr. Blake did a great job of breaking things down on how to actually get your team motivated. And one of the things that he talked about was the bonus system. And so today we're going to talk about how to make a bonus system that works for the team and the owners. It's so important. And if you've ever done bonuses before, any business owner, everybody I've ever talked to, we always mess them up the first time. Like it's just for sure you're going to get it wrong because you think they're easy, but they're not. And so we're going to give you a 5-step process to help you get your bonus off the ground. And down below, we have a giveaway of the framework that Dr. Hamblin used when he first started doing bonuses in his office. And I think this template will really help you. So if you want that, you can download it down below. And also, really important, make sure that you go check out Cherry. We have Cherry down below, and they are huge. Like they absolutely transformed Dr. Blake's office. And I highly, highly recommend that you use them and you watch our trainings on that. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And lastly, we have a mastermind. If you have questions, if you're like, dude, I don't know how to do this stuff. I tried it. It didn't work. Come talk to us. We're happy to talk to you. So now let's get into bonuses. So number one, here's why bonuses suck. Okay. Bonuses suck when you use emotion instead of math. So Dr. Blake, you kind of coined that phrase. You know, this is why the bonuses didn't work for me before, and this is why they do now. And it was emotional versus just logical or math. Can you give us a rundown on that?
For sure. So we, as dentists, we got into the profession because we want to help people. And so a lot of us have bleeding hearts and we just want to help our teams. And we love our teams and our teams are great. And so a lot of times we can create bonus structures that are surrounded by how we feel about our teams and the people on them versus the math behind what is happening in our business. And where I see it time and time again, I mean, I'm sure many people have others also seen this on Facebook, is you go on and they're like, I started this bonus structure, but I can't afford it anymore. And how do I get out of it? And I was bound and determined not to do that whenever I started my bonus system. And I truly believe all of it is just because it's built around feelings and emotions instead of what is actually happening in the business to be able to support that bonus system.
So a lot of people, I totally agree. And I've done this before where it's just like, I'm going to bonus this person to get them to this goal, but I didn't back into all the numbers and figure out what that actually meant. And if we could even afford that, I just calculated one goal and one bonus. And that goes into our second point. So the first thing that you actually have to do from a math standpoint is you need to figure out what your burn rate is for your business. And here's this tricky part that most people don't do. Personally, too. You have to figure out how much money you need to pay your student loans, your loan on the house, your loan on the business, all your living expenses. You need to know like the bare minimum of that plus the business. So walk through the best way to do that. Which one do you do first? Which one do you do second? And is there any pitfalls you need to watch for?
Yeah. So in our office, we call it a BAM, bare blank minimum. And we're a family friendly podcast here. But yeah, I think a really good exercise for most dentists to do is actually go through and pull out that P&L that your accountant sends you 2 months later and pull it out and see where were you at? What was your bottom line break even? Like, where did you start actually making money on the business, right? And from there, you have a framework to work off of. And unfortunately, I think that's where a lot of people might stop. They might say, okay, we break even here, so now anything on top of it is just free money that we can share. But you get to the end of the month and you forget that you've got a note on the business that you just purchased. You got a note on the building that you bought. You've got a house that you just paid for. You got married. You've got kids. You
went to Disneyland and you had to take out a 4-month mortgage for that.
Yeah, there you go. You had to ride all the rides and all those things. And so you have to take that into account. You have to remember you too have to live off of this income. And so you need to build that in. And whatever that number is great. But the business and the people inside of the business can't quote unquote bonus or get extra money out of the business until all the people inside of the business has been satisfied and you're included in that. And so you take that break even that the business has and you build in your personal break even. So what is your family burn rate? What do you need to service debt? What do you need to do all these things? And then, and only then, can you then distribute bonuses or gifts on top of that to your team on a percentage basis.
I love that. So step number 1, first, you got to realize this is not an emotional thing. It's just math. That's it. Take the emotions out of it. Number 2, you need to figure out your personal burn rate and your business burn rate, which is your BAM. This is going to create your first layer of creating your bonus. This is the bare minimum that we have to do for me to pay my bills and the business to pay their bills, and everybody is happy at that point. That allows you then above that to be able to create bonus systems. And then next, create a bonus on where you want to go, not just getting over. It's not, who cares if you just barely get over your BAM, right? Like, it's like, okay, cool, whatever, I'm paying my bills, but that's not really where you want to go. So the BAM is one part, the bare minimum that you want to get, but then there's a stretch that you want to get.
Yeah. So your bonus is not based off of the BAM or even necessarily your personal on top of that. It's, where does this business need to go for us to set a new goal, right? And so in our office, every quarter we reevaluate where we're at and we say, is this a stretch goal or is it not, right? And so the previous 3 months, my team has hit the bonus goal 3 months in a row, which has been fantastic. But now they also understand that goalpost is going to constantly change, and as we improve, so too will their bonus and the goals to meet the bonus. And so we have now changed those goals. And so I think one thing that I struggled with starting this was either setting a goal that was too low or setting a goal that was wildly unreachable. And I've done both, right? And both are really ineffective.
One discourages you and one makes you poor.
For sure. Exactly. And so like I've written the wildly large bonus checks and I'm like, okay, can the quarter end quickly? Because this can't happen again. Or I'm like, golly, man, do we need to like adjust backwards now so that the team can have some morale change here? And so I think finding something of where are you at and reasonably, what could you add on top of that? So maybe if you're $1 million practice, maybe you say, okay, what does it take to add 10 grand a month to our top line? That would change the practice, but that you can stretch them to.
Yeah, which is not crazy. Because the thing with bonuses, I think what most people don't get, especially people who are non-entrepreneurs. So if you're an entrepreneur, for me, I'm like, what's the next goal? How many views do we need to get? How many subscribers and that motivates the junk out of me. Like, I'm just like, I literally fall asleep thinking about it, wake up thinking about it. I thought everybody else thought that way, but they actually don't. And so a lot of people are like, oh, this bonus is cool. It's like helping me and my family, but they're not like super motivated by it. Like maybe I am with that I just described. But what it actually does is it aligns everybody. They know like, oh, we need to ask more people for same day treatment because that's going to help us get to our goal. That makes Dr. Blake happy. It makes the patients happy. And I get a nice little bonus from it as well. And so the bonuses are really, motivation's part of it. I don't want to downplay it too much, but it's more, I love the alignment that it creates in the business.
Absolutely. Like people know what a win is. And we've talked about that so much on our podcast is like, what is a win? And what is a win in patient financing? What is a win in answering the phone. Like, what does a win look like? And when you can put out a bonus structure, you have to be super clear about this is a win and there's no confusion. So I totally agree.
Yeah, I love that. It's like Polymarket. Polymarket, I don't know if you guys know what Polymarket is. It's like a site that you can go to and you can bet on anything, like what Bitcoin's price going to be at by the end of the year, what country is going to go to war first, like all these things. You can bet who's going to win this election race, and it's super accurate. And the reason it's super accurate is because people are using their own hard-earned money, and they're only doing it if they know something. So you go in and you can start to look like, oh, this has a 75% chance of happening. That means it's probably going to happen, like high probability. And so when you put money behind a bonus system, what you're saying is this is the ultimate win for us right now. But most importantly, and the last point is really, really important. I've learned this the hard way. You have to not leave this open-ended. You need to, at the beginning, say, this is something we are trying and we will be changing. I know at your office, you change it every quarter, like regardless, that's great. But whether you're doing that or not, like, hey, we're testing this. We're going to see how this goes. We will be making adjustments. Because I would love for you to explain to the audience, Dr. Blake, like what happens if you don't predicate it with that and people start hitting the bonus and you change it?
I think a little bit of what we hit on earlier was just what starts out as like a very charitable thing to do from a practice ownership perspective turns into an expectation from the team. And then it becomes less fun. You're less excited to give those bonuses because they're just kind of like, well, I'm supposed to get this. You know what I mean? And that's one thing. But another thing is we have over time, we have developed our structure to be less team driven. I think I talked about this a little bit a while back, and now it's individual driven. So now each position has its own KPIs to know what is a win in their role. And you don't need to do this if you're a smaller office. If you've got a team of 5 or 6, you don't need that. You need all people to do all things. But as you grow, you have to have specialized positions. And what I found was it was a little bit of like the school project where one person or 2 people would do everything and then everybody would win from it. And it wasn't creating a huge cultural problem, but I saw that as something that could become a problem. And so I quickly decided, hey, why don't we build this bonus structure to benefit each person in their own role so that they can grow with an uncapped potential. Like at this point, the more value that you add to our team, the more value that you'll get in compensation. And it's kind of a 1-to-1. And it's very clear they know that at a certain point, they step into a whole new position. And maybe a new position is even created because of that. But again, back to like what we always talk about is create the problem.
Yeah, don't fix problems that you don't have, especially on this kind of stuff. You want to work through the step, make a problem, fix it, move to the next problem. And one thing I'll add to that, Dr. Blake, when you find somebody who is driven with an entrepreneurial style and they're just like pit bull, and you'll know right away, once you have this bonus system set up, you will know because they will hit it every single month. They might break someone's finger on the way there, like they're too aggressive, and you'll see it and you'll go, those are the people that you want to take and then try to motivate them more and get them to motivate other people because they raise the bar of everybody else. Because if they're right here now and all the rest of your team is here and they go like this because of the bonus system, the natural thing to happen is the rest of the team steps up.
Yeah, they're the gatekeepers to the standards of the practice.
And everybody goes, oh, I got to be close to that. They might not be as good, but I got to be close to that. That's so good. Awesome. Any closing thoughts before we part ways with everybody here?
No, I think bonuses can be good. I think they can also be bad. So I think you have to be very intentional in how you implement them in your practice. A lot of thought needs to go into it. In fact, I had an exercise about 6 to 7 months ago where I plugged in basically all of our data within the practice into ChatGPT and said, hey, I want to keep our payroll percentage at this point, but I also want to do some bonus structures in this, and how can we do that? And we went back and forth, and frankly, it took a week or two I created multiple different lines and segments in this thread and chat, but it was really helpful in building that out. And it gave me confidence that what we were building was sustainable. And so I think that's the biggest thing is if you choose to do it, you need to make sure it's something that even within the next 6 to 12 months that you can maintain.
That's awesome. This is a really good episode. I hope this hits home for a lot of people. And if you guys need anything, as always, all the links are down below, or feel free to DM us. You guys have a wonderful day.
Beautiful.
Peace.